Many people struggle with control around food and they fear losing control around food. And one of the biggest reasons for that is because they're using food as a way of escaping feelings that they don't like. And for them, they've done this so many times that food is the most rapid, reliable, and effective method for escaping unpleasant feelings. And that doesn't necessarily have to be the big emotions like despair or anger, although it can be. But it can also frequently be some of the more innocuous feelings, such as just boredom. And they've done this so many times that it's just become a habit, so much so that they find themselves mindlessly eating without even realizing it anytime that things get a little bit stressful or a little bit overwhelming. And those two feelings or states, stress and overwhelm, are two of the biggest culprits that leads to people mindlessly eating and losing control around food. Now, when it comes to stress and overwhelm, one of the biggest culprits towards those emotions is perfectionism. So many people have learned to become perfectionists, which creates a huge amount of stress, which means that they need to escape that stress in any way they can, and they've used food so many times that that becomes their default response every time that they're stressed. So that combination of factors means that they find themselves mindlessly eating. Now, if we can resolve the perfectionism in the first place, that's going to go a long way to resolving this issue overall. Now, when somebody becomes a perfectionist, often they can convince themselves that they just have high standards. It's completely different. It's not the same as having high standards. When somebody is a perfectionist, the primary motivating factor for them to work hard or to agonize over details in something is a fear of being judged, a fear of being criticized, a fear of other people's opinions. So they approach things from the perspective of, if I can get everything perfect and look perfect, then nobody will be able to judge me, nobody will be able to criticize me. So one of the most important things to learn when you're overcoming perfectionism is to be able to focus on the outcome and what you're moving towards. So for example, if I'm doing this video right now and my primary focus is the people that I want to help and the people that I have in mind who needs to hear this, I'm going to focus on them, I'm going to focus on the message, and I'm going to focus on getting the details across in a way that makes sense, in a way that they're going to understand it, and in a way that's going to add value and hopefully help them to improve their lives and change their lives. However, if on the other hand, I think of all of the people who could criticize this video, who could pick holes in it, who could disagree with it, who might be trolling me online and making negative comments. If I think about those kinds of people, I'm going to agonize over all of the details. I'm going to want to get it perfect. I'm going to want to make sure that I please everybody, which of course is impossible. But what that means is that I'm going to dumb down my message to this flat, mediocre message that doesn't get the information across, doesn't get the message across, and it's going to take me forever and cause me a huge amount of stress. Some of you are doing this all day, every day in your lives. You're agonizing over everything, what you do with your diet, what you do at work. Everything in your life is filtered through this filter of, what if somebody criticizes or judges me? How can I guarantee that that's never going to happen? That's what causes perfectionism. That's why it's not the same as having high standards. When you have high standards, you focus on the outcome, you recognize the standards that are required to deliver that outcome, and you get it done. You don't get it perfect.